This video is sponsored by HeroForge. HeroForge is the internet's home for custom 3D printed tabletop miniatures. You can create some amazing custom minis. You can build humans, dwarves, elves, but also rat folk, minotaurs, zombies, merfolk, centaurs, snake people, and frog folk. I really like the frogs. It's a great tool to figure out exactly how your tabletop RPG character will look. And then you get a fantastic mini for said character. Recently, HeroForge finished up their Kickstarter for color miniatures, and these minis were printed with the color option, and I love them. Their new race option of Hyenakin inspired this video. If you want to play a Gnoll warrior, they have you covered. New forms are always being created. Check out HeroForge today by clicking the link in the description. Hello everybody, Jordan here. The PH is silent in support of HeroForge's new canine hyena race for their mini creation. I thought we'd talk about Gnolls. Gnolls are humanoid hyena people, although a recent tweet from Wizards of the Coast demigods stated that Gnolls should be labeled fiends instead of humanoids because of their origin and lack of player character option. Their origin is different in different campaign settings for D&D, but there is always a hint of fiendish blood in their history, which makes them vicious, chaotic, and cruel. In D&D 5e, Gnolls are evil, wild, and chaotic, but in Eberron, for example, they have been partially redeemed. Gnolls are not necessarily evil, but the craving to hunt and the primal bloodlust that inhabits their minds makes them lean towards the chaotic evil side. In general, Gnolls also have a very strong family bond, respecting blood relationships in the highest. In some Gnoll clans, the group rarely engage in violent raids, preferring a nomadic lifestyle, and in some cases, these Gnolls befriend or at least peacefully interact with other races. Often they become trappers or hunters, but generally Gnolls prefer their own kind to others. For the most part, there is a dark side to Gnolls. Their blood has mixed with fiends. In Eberron, Gnolls often worship the Dark Six, the evil gods of Eberron. In ancient times of the campaign setting, they served fiendish overlords, but a large group of Gnolls have broken away from that history. The Gnoll group called the Zanir Pact, or Gnoll Brotherhood of Droam, have purged themselves of demonic influence, and these Gnolls do not allow another creature to hold dominion over them. So Gnolls are sellswords, soldiers, and trackers. Volo's Guide to Monsters brought us the canon lore about Gnolls for D&D 5e. The demon lord Yeenoghu, who is a demon prince of the abyss, was the creator of the Gnolls. Yeenoghu embodies killing. He doesn't plot or create traps. He rips creatures apart for the pleasure of it. Yeenoghu is a weaker demon prince, not as powerful as Orcus or Demogorgon, so he relies on followers to summon him into the prime material plane. He has become the patron of Gnolls and is worshipped as a god. Yeenoghu stands 14 feet tall with a skeletal thin body, glowing red eyes, and armor he has stolen, pieced together from his victims. He wields a triple flail called the Butcher that was constructed from the bones of a god he slew during the wars between the deities and the primordials. Now, I said I was pulling information from 5e, but that last bit was from 4th edition lore. Yeenoghu has the flail in 5th edition, but the deity primordial war was heavily a 4e thing. Still, it was just too cool not to tell you about. Gnolls come from Yeenoghu and hyenas. When Yeenoghu comes to the prime material plane, he leaves behind death and a trail of corpses. Hyenas are naturally drawn to Yeenoghu and feast upon these corpses. Later, they transform into Gnolls and assist with Yeenoghu's mission to destroy anything and everything. This is why Gnolls in 5e should probably have been labeled fiend subtype rather than humanoid. They are a product of the demon prince, Yeenoghu. Some non-Gnoll cultists of Yeenoghu will run and stay with Gnoll packs. These people often take on Gnoll characteristics, mimicking their actions. A person would most likely have lost all hope to become a Yeenoghu follower, a broken person with nothing left. Isolation and abandonment allow Yeenoghu's path to take hold. Violence is an easy answer when one is searching for power, and Yeenoghu embodies violence and destruction. Perhaps the same reason a humanoid would have been taken in by Yeenoghu's teaching is the same reason that the Gnolls have. A quick and evil way to feel powerful is to subjugate others. Even though these Gnolls worship and follow Yeenoghu, they have little interest in rituals. Gnolls won't spend time performing ceremonies, but instead follow their bloodlust. This leaves non-Gnoll cultists to spread Yeenoghu's influence using magic. Dragon Magazine 367 offers some assistance in playing a Gnoll character in your campaign. Gnolls are primal creatures with powerful instincts. They are team players who don't struggle with personal glory. If the group wins, the Gnoll wins. Gnolls will assist allies and protect family members. They look for groups or packs, rarely adventuring alone. A Gnoll in an adventuring party would have a stronger bond with those people, those friends, than the others might realize. Gnolls can appear aggressive, but they don't have the same social norms as others. Rather than asking a polite question, they might demand an answer. In their mind, the outcome is the same. You get the answer. Intimidation isn't considered hostile, it's a way to show off and establish strength. Fierce, loyal, tough, and wild are all characteristics of Gnolls. I'd be curious if we get some Gnoll race stats for D&D 5e at some point. I mean, we have Tabaxi cat people, and with Theros we now have lion people, even elephant people from Ravnica, but no dog people, no Gnolls. If you really want to incorporate Gnolls as a playable race in your game, there are some solid homebrew options out there on the web. Google it and convince your DM to let you use one. Gnoll fighters or rangers would be interesting to play. Perhaps Gnoll rogues who rely on strength. A Gnoll warlock could be an obvious choice, conflicted but utilizing the fiendish powers of Yeenoghu. We have fiendish warlock patrons, but the expanded spell list always felt more devilish than demon. I'd love for Wizards of the Coast to publish some warlock packs specifically associated with demons. Or better yet, each demon prince has their own pact path. At least a way to flavor it for Yeenoghu pact versus a Demogorgon pact. Now that I say that, there is probably already some great homebrew out there that covers what I want, and if not, I should just write it. Thanks again, HeroForge, for sponsoring this video. Check out these minis, they're so great. The web builder is easy to use, and the printed mini really reflects the options you choose. From this Gnoll designed in HeroForge to this color printed mini. This was the mini that was sent to me by HeroForge. Try it out today for free at heroforge.com. If you're interested in more information about Yeenoghu, I've got a Demons of the Abyss video you can check out. I also have some Eberron videos talking about the religions of Eberron and the Dark Six. Check it out in the description below. Maybe your next campaign villain could be a Yeenoghu priest who runs with a pack of corrupted Gnolls. Will you defeat them or save them from this twisted influence? Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out my Patreon for live D&D 5e games I run. Share this video with your gaming group and help the channel grow. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.